morning children. In this session today we are going to discuss in economics about poverty as a challenge, as we have studied here how the poverty becomes a challenging issue and how the social exclusion taking place, like some vulnerable groups, also some marginalized community, etc. So here we are going to discuss today what is poverty line. What is poverty line? So many people we have already studied, they are coming below the minimum level of food. They do not have the accessibility of food or health facilities. So the income level mostly calculated here. Common method to measure poverty is based on the income or their level of capacity, consumption capacity, income and the level of consumption capacity. Based on this we often calculate poverty. Or a person who is considered poor, or he or his income is very important, and how much of consumption level he has. So the minimum level of consumption are necessary to fulfill his basic needs. How much of his income, with the income, how he is able to fulfill his basic needs. We have already studied basic needs are not only food. Many other aspects are there, many other issues also we have discussed, and then their literacy rate, their also the capacity or accessibility to get the medical facilities if they fall sick. So these are all, and shelter, all these come under poverty. Okay, so that his minimum level of fulfilling his necessities or basic needs, so that is calculated here as a poverty line. If person is unable to fulfill his basic needs, he falls under poverty line. Okay, so here there are some such kind of different nations, different countries are different calculations. What are the indicators they are taking for calculating or measuring the poverty line is different in different countries depending upon their economy, whether they are developed or backward or the underdeveloped nations. So depending upon their economy, they calculate in a different way. So for example, we can say a person who is not able, okay, so a person having a car in the United States may be considered poor there. Okay, so here we can find out a person who does not have a car in our country is not a poor. Okay, in America, a person who does not have a car also is considered a poor. So our country, our calculation is different, that a person who does not have food, shelter, clothing, he is poor. Okay, so while determining the poverty line in India, the minimal level of food requirement, clothing and medical requirement, these are the basic amenities needed to a person living in India. So we are considering all these minimum requirement of food or clothing, footwear, fuel or light. These are the examples we are taking, or these are the indicators we are calculating for the poverty line in our country. So here we can say food items, examples such as the cereals, pulses or vegetables, milk or sugar, etc. These are all together we are calculating as nutritious food. So if a person, we have studied some examples in the previous lessons, how the people are able, very poor people who has 2 times meal with a dal and rice. That is what we have studied. They are very poor considering. There is no much nutrition or nutritious food they are getting, so that they are coming under. So nutritious food also is necessary for a good the healthy population. So here we can calculate how much of calorie they are getting in their food also. Okay, depending upon their age and the type of work the people do. For the small children, we know they need a less calorie of food. Person who is working population or people who are working in the coming under working population need more calories. Okay, so that the elder persons or the aged persons and the children, they need less calories. but person who is working, that depends upon his type of work. So agricultural laborer or some people who are working drivers, so such kind of heavy works who are doing, they need more calories. Okay, we can say accepted average calorie requirement in India is 2400 per person per day in the rural areas, and 2100 calories per person per day in the urban areas. Why there are differences depending for their physical work? We know that in the rural areas people have a more heavy works, so that their requirement of calorie rate is 2400. In the urban areas generally people do not have that much of heavy works, so that their calorie rate is 2100 in the urban areas. So these are the differences. We can find how much people are healthy or unhealthy depending upon the calorie of food available to them or accessible to them. On the basis of these calculations, we can find 2011 and 12 census. As per that, poverty line of for a person was fixed at the rate of 816 per month for the rural areas. You can find as per 2011 and 12 census, in the rural areas poverty line is considered that a fixed person's income in 816 rupees per month in rural areas and 1000 rupees in the urban areas. Why there are differences in the urban and rural areas? Because we know that the expenses or the cost of living is higher in the urban areas than rural area. So that in urban area per month the person's income should be 1000 rupees per month. In the rural area it is 816. That means who has less than this minimum wages income, he is considered poor or he is coming under poverty line. Okay, so here suppose a family of 5 members living in the rural areas and earning less than about 4,000. 5 members means 4,080 rupees per month. If the family of 5 members getting an income less than 4,080 rupees per month, they fall under poverty line. That means they are considered below poverty line. A similar family in the urban areas, if their income, minimum income, or if it is less than 5,000 per month in the urban areas, they are considered poor or they come under poverty line. Okay, so here we can find out these surveys are carried out by in India National Sample Survey Organization, that is called NSSO. So here National Sample Survey Organization is carrying out this survey and they are finding out how many people are falling under the poverty line or above poverty line or below poverty line. Based on that, we know that in our country through the public distribution system we have issued, government has issued ration cards depending upon their poverty level, and they are given different types of ration cards. Here also we know that in other countries, okay, comparison between the developing countries, many international organizations are there, all like the World Bank, and they are calculating, they have a uniform standard for the poverty line. Minimum availability for the equivalent is $1.90 per person. That is in the international level. In the 2011 census, $1.90 per person per day. Okay, those who are if the person is unable to get this minimal level of income, he is considered very poor. Okay, so here how poverty estimations are taking place. We know that in the coming chapters, we will coming classes, we will study more about this, how vulnerable groups are suffering from the poverty. Okay, due to these all basic amenities who does not have. Okay, so depending upon the accessibility of basic needs, we are calculating the poverty line. So in the coming classes we will study how poverty estimates or vulnerable groups are suffering from poverty.